As he burst in and removed all his armor, he said, "Tonight call me the heart of a lion." She nods her head and smiles at him, while he claims they're going to retake Zion. His bag of gold is placed on the table. She curls up next to him as she's regaled by stories that demonstrated his warlike piety, even though the whole venture had failed. It's not too big of a deal, he says. The speculation bubble is bound to grow, and Jerusalem is going to be quite the resort when they start shipping in my bottles of Bordeaux. He puts a bag of tea on the dresser, and she asks him, "What is that?" He said, "Let me put the kettle on, and you'll understand why we have to chat. I'm from the high eastern mountains, and I'm sure like to see you up there." She's busy trying to put her dress on, while he's sitting in the armchair. "Is this all you came for, and do you like it hot?" She nodded in agreement and brought it close. He talked about how all the monks grew it, and she felt in her hand a lethal dose. When he put the plastic pieces by the bed, she flipped them in her hand and started to count. "No, don't do it like that," he said, snatching. And between his fingers, it was all paramount. When you have a face and are showing a heart, it's always nice to be able to convert it to cash. The owners on the floor will greet you with a clap. Those are the times it's necessary to be able to dash. She nodded her head and pretended to write. All the while, he was explaining all the rules. She needed a mix and found the corkscrew, because the worst part of this job is dealing with such fools. He had a mark of a raindrop under his brow. She pulled out some clips and made them appear. She might have been impressed until he put on a CD. She did everything she could to avoid giving a sneer. He beat his head softly, but she did not move. There's 100,000 that are much worse, but several thousand a whole lot better. So she started looking inside her purse. When he asked what she was thinking of, she lied and said she was concentrating. And he started all over again to get the meaning, but she just found the whole experience so grating. The philosopher walks in with a stomachache. He asks for soup, but she just shrugs. No one's asked for that before here, but his diseased brain is covered in slugs. He's telling her about how wise he happens to be, and about a science that is more than happy that he's going to discover in the book that he's writing. She's begging him just to make it snappy. School is back in session for philology. He puts on a record from the Philharmonic and starts to complain about it so loudly, she realizes his problem is completely chronic. The geek is saying he's scoured the whole underworld. He tells her he's looking for his fiancée, while he puts Alexander's head about the bed. He's afraid to one day turn to clay. He rolls the stone back and forth, and the marbles in his mind begin to rotate. Her concern about currency is raised, since she doesn't want to be a really cheap date. She doesn't look at him quite yet, but starts to stare into the midst of the fire, where the raging pigeons scream at the prisoner, and does so with all the coupons shown to expire. Count Orlok is showing off his name, and his shadow is dancing on the hotel's wall. "You should come to my castle, honey," he says in a way that represents a cat call. "When I was doing a little better, they came to me, but now I've lost a lot of my ability to lure. Do you think it has something to do with my teeth?" He asked if she could stake down a cure. "I don't really like the sunshine, but that's no big deal now. I left all my inheritance on my boat, and it's captained by a plague of rats that are trying to raise the money they need to vote." The mad geographer spins his globe badly. It's coming off its standing rails. He's giving her a quiz or there'll be nothing. He asks her if she can follow all the trails. The islands are hidden under all the lines. The oceans have poured out onto the table. The hypnotism of the show flies above the light bulb. It's blank now and without any label. Wake up soon and hitch it all together, because when the mob comes knocking at the door, you'll be stuck having to redraw all the lines, and won't that certainly be some chore. When she opened the door the next time, she was surprised to see his manner of dress, but he didn't stop it till he made it to the drawer. One of his friends had already made a mess, and he started going in and searching, while she was on the side of the room just looking. He started pointing out everything to her, so she would understand the whole booking. She told him she understood it quite well and agreed. Then he asked her why she still does this, and then it was completely counter to what she had said. But he stopped, because he was getting ready for bliss. After the man had pounded on the door, he said, "I walked on the side of the road to get here." It was apparent he had walked 100 miles. His body was filthy and the sweat was clear. His hands showed the work of a man committed, who had broke his body to reach such a state. He had put in extra hours just to be here. He's not one who would ever argue over the rate. Can you call him a favorite in this part of the world? Or is there anyone that we can call spoiled? She takes the chart down and hides it from the boss. All this because he does not see her as soiled. I strut like I have some kind of competence, but the only ability I have is to waltz, which certainly doesn't have the practical application, especially when everything I say happens to be false. This is my first time for everything I claim, but she has a whole closet full of receipts for when the federal agent comes to count it all and takes the place of the janitor to wash her sheets. I tell all my hopes to her, but not my dreams. I keep them to myself like they're confidential, not because I don't remember them well, but I don't want to admit how they're influential.